It's no secret that we all love our main characters, but sometimes a supporting character comes along and just steals the show. A particularly good mission or side quest can show us just enough to spark our interest and leave us wondering what that character might do if they had more time in the spotlight. Some of these characters do go on to get their own games, but not always. So let's take a look at some of the best side characters who definitely deserve their own time to shine. Nathan Drake's older brother, Sam, has been on quite the journey. While he was thought to have died, Sam shows up alive and well, asking for Nathan's help in Uncharted 4: A Thief's End. While he may not have the same heroic qualities as his younger brother, he definitely plays morality by ear, Sam is a charming figure nonetheless. By the end of the game, it seems as if he and Sully are going to become partners. Following Sully and Sam on some new, exotic and probably dangerous adventures would make for some fantastic games, and it would be an easy way to continue the Uncharted franchise. While Steph hasn't starred in her own game, we did get to play as her in Life is Strange True Colors DLC Wavelengths. While the DLC may have been enough to satisfy some fans, her strong performance shows that she could definitely carry the story of her very own game. This quirky girl stole the hearts and minds of audiences with her geeky interests and love of music. She's a standout character whose life before or after New Haven would make for a great game. To say that Rivet is a side character in Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart might not be quite accurate, but she deserves her own game nonetheless. While Rivet is an alternate version of Ratchet, she has lived a very different life. Instead of living as a hero, which she definitely is, she has struggled and lost a lot as a resistance fighter against the nefarious of her dimension. There's plenty of potential for more stories starring Rivet. Insomniac could shine a light on her life before meeting Ratchet, or continue her story after the events of Rift Apart. Either way, it would be great to see some games starring Rivet as the main character. A brutal survivor and a gifted killer, Yuna is one of the best characters in Ghost of Tsushima. Her story is one of trauma and tragedy, but she always manages to endure. In fact, she saves Jin more than once, allowing them to continue their fight against the Mongols. While the audience comes to know a lot about Yuna's past, it's her future that is uncertain. When Jin and Yuna go their separate ways, their focus is on continuing the fight for the island of Tsushima. It would be incredible to play a game where Yuna is the protagonist fighting back the Mongols at every turn. One of the more interesting companions in Fallout 4, Nick Valentine is a synthetic with the personality of an old grizzled detective uploaded into him. After being experimented on over and over again, Nick eventually escapes the clutches of his tormentors. After wandering the wasteland for a while, he finds his way to Diamond City, where he begins working as a private investigator. Nick could be the star of any number of stories due to his work as a detective. Anyone would be happy to play through the cases he encounters in Diamond City and the Wasteland. Joel's younger and more compassionate brother, Tommy, would make for a great protagonist of his own game. In The Last of Us Part 1, Tommy mentions having nightmares over the things that he and Joel did to survive during the early years of humanity's downfall, even suggesting that it wasn't worth it. A game about their time surviving would make for a great prequel. Another option would be Tommy's time in Seattle, hunting down his brother's killers. Tommy goes through a lot of character development after the death of his brother. Shining a light on that story and his journey would make for a very interesting tale. In Cyberpunk 2077, Johnny lives in V's head. However, Johnny lived quite a life as a rocker boy and a nightmare for corporations, to the point of being labelled a terrorist. While we do get flashbacks to Johnny's past, he could easily carry his own game about the earlier years of the cyberpunk setting. Playing through Silverhand's fights against the mega corporations would be a thrill, or even seeing more of his time with Samurai would make for great entertainment. One of the interesting things about Johnny is that while he can be quite charming and charismatic, he isn't always particularly likeable or agreeable. Seeing more of the world through his eyes would be a welcome addition to Cyberpunk's lore. A fan favourite of the Mass Effect series, Garris Vakarian is one of the coolest characters in science fiction. From the moment Garris joined Shepard in the hunt for Saren, he's established as a character who will do anything to get the job done. His disdain for rules and regulations comes from the times where criminals were allowed to escape due to the inaction of CSEC. In addition to making a great main character, fans would be thrilled to play through Garris' time on Omega, where he became known as Archangel. He caused so much trouble for the crime syndicates that they actually formed an alliance to take down Garris and his operatives. Yeah, we all want to see that. Adopted and trained by Geralt, Siri is one of the best side characters in The Witcher 3. Siri is also trained to be a gifted Witcher herself. In addition to being a Witcher, she also possesses her own form of magic, making her quite different from any other Witcher in existence. Her adventures as a Witcher would make for an incredible game, whether that's The Witcher 4 or some kind of spin-off. She's a rich character with the potential for many strong stories. From Rancher to Outlaw to Bounty Hunter, Sadie Adler had quite the journey throughout Red Dead Redemption 2. Her character development is drastic, going from hiding in a cellar from her husband's killers to becoming a deadly gunslinger herself. By the end of Red Dead 2, she's a bounty hunter looking to go her own way after helping John take down Micah and his gang. Her story has been left very, very open, and one can't help but think of how great it would be to play a game about the bounty hunter Sadie Adler. Red Dead 3, maybe? And that is our list. Of course, there are many other great characters who would do well in their own games, and you're welcome to share your ideas down in the comments. We might just revisit this one for a part 2 in the future. If you enjoyed this video and appreciate the hard work we do here, drop a like, a comment, and give the subscribe button a tap if you haven't already done so. And don't forget the bell icon so that you're notified whenever we've got new stuff. I've been Chris, you've been gorgeous, and we'll see each other on the next one. Until then, cheers my dears.